Each of us is going to review something this weekend, so I wanted to review something that people wouldn't normally review. I didn't want to do a book or a movie or a music or anything. Part of that is, of course, because I review stuff on my personal channel, mainly movies, but I used to review just everything. Like, literally, you would give me something and I would probably make a review on it. Most of those reviews are taken down. But I wanted to review something that I just had never reviewed before. So I was going to review a Taco Bell commercial that has played in front of most of the YouTube videos I've watched recently. But I actually couldn't find it on YouTube, so I had to find something else. And since I was kind of crunched for time, I decided, well, what the heck, I'll just review a book. So today I'm going to review Young World by, what's the author's name? Chris Weitz? Young World takes place in the future after a plague has come through and killed off everybody who is not between the ages of around 12 or 13 to 18. Once you turn 18, you die, and if you're younger than that, you die. And the story follows a group of people who are going to try to find a cure to this disease as they travel through kind of the different tribes that have been built up in New York. The book is narrated by its two protagonists, Jefferson and Donna. The chapters switch between their two views and they both have distinctive voices. They have a lot of their personality injected into what they say, and sometimes you get the feeling that what they're seeing is more affected by their view of the world overall than what's actually happening. Which is addressed early on when Donna is talking about how she is not going to be an unreliable narrator. And then later in the book you find out that she kinda is, because you kinda can't help but be an unreliable narrator. Personally, I could have used with a bit more variety in the narration though. Jefferson is not all that interesting, and Donna is somewhat annoying at certain parts of the book. I like both of them, but they kinda grated on me after time, and I could have used with the third narrator. And there is another character who could fulfill this role. Donna's best friend is one of the people who goes along with them on their trip, and honestly, he's a really interesting character who just isn't developed enough. Getting a couple chapters with his point of view and seeing what's going on, especially when there's the inevitable romantic subplot between Donna and Jefferson, would honestly break up kind of the monotony of these narrations. The character himself is actually a perfect example for my biggest problem with the book, because there are some great scenes where we see him and we think that we are going to get some good character development, but then the scene just kind of ends. For example, there's a scene early on when he stops by a church because he is religious, and when he opens it up he sees that there's just a bunch of dead bodies. And you think he is going to question his worldview and see how it ties into this society that's been built up, but he kind of just gets over it in a second. And my biggest problem with the book is that it presents interesting ideas, but it doesn't explore them. Ideas like religion, sexuality, and race, and how they would affect a future world and how they affect our world now, are glimpsed at, but not fully defined. Part of that is because it's just so interested in presenting this world, which it is an interesting world, and I really like seeing the different groups of people that have kind of built up their own tribes and clans in New York. And if it was just focused on presenting these different people, and of course the main story of trying to find the cure, it would be a much better book, but when it tries to shove in some of these deeper thoughts but doesn't dig into them, I feel like the book is just missing a lot of potential. I did like this book, but I felt like it should have either delved deeper into its ideas or just explored this fascinating world. If you are interested in a book that has fascinating world building and is kind of an apocalyptic dystopian kind of novel, you should check this out. It's the first book in a series, and I'm not sure when book 2 is coming out, but honestly it makes for a good standalone story. If you like this video, then go over to my personal channel, because this week I am launching a project that I've been working on for the past month. And it's basically kind of a book club kind of discussion thing. The first episode's on the Hunger Games, so if you are interested in my thoughts on that, the next episode will be on this book about Hollywood in the 1970s. That's really weird and kind of a drug-addled trip. Then, check it out. See you guys next week. Oh no. I dropped my bobblehead.